2018, I read the book, or sent the book by my book agent and friend at the time, and I was looking for films that could inspire, that were commercially viable, but also could really reach in. It's based on a beautiful, really important book, and it's about a young woman named Lily who confronts the generational cycles in her life.
I was one of two people, maybe, and then I get a call from my managers and my agent. They were both on the line, which means it's something serious. Right. Either you got the job.
Disney's surprise decision to wade into the fiery legal clash between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively has transformed what was already a high-profile dispute into a full-blown Hollywood spectacle, drawing massive attention from both the industry and fans of It Ends With Us. The entertainment giant, typically known for its family-friendly brand and reluctance to get entangled in lawsuits over creative disputes, has now deployed its heavyweight legal team to back Baldoni, signaling that this fight carries far more weight than just the fate of a single film. Initially, the project had all the makings of a cinematic event. Baldoni, celebrated for his heartfelt storytelling, appeared to be the perfect choice to adapt the beloved novel's themes of love, resilience, and healing, while Lively's casting in the lead role promised star power, charm, and an extra spark of mainstream appeal. Early on-set glimpses, cast teases, and behind-the-scenes photos only amplified excitement, hinting at a film that could seamlessly blend authentic emotional depth with blockbuster energy. But beneath the surface, tensions began to simmer. Rumors swirled that Lively wanted to infuse the movie with quirky humor, bold fashion, and her signature style, while Baldoni was adamant about staying true to the book's raw, emotional tone. What many assumed were typical creative differences escalated when Lively publicly claimed she had been sidelined and pressured into creative choices she never supported, a move Baldoni swiftly countered by filing a defamation lawsuit reportedly valued at more than $400 million, accusing her of championing the very changes she later criticized. As the case unfolded, the narrative turned increasingly messy, with reports of leaked text messages, secret meetings, and damaging evidence that threatened to undermine both camps. The sudden entrance of Disney into this chaos stunned observers and changed the trajectory of the battle, with sources suggesting that the studio is not only guiding Baldoni's legal strategy, but also potentially leveraging its immense influence to reshape the public perception of the feud. The question now is why would Disney risk tying its brand to such a volatile dispute? Insiders speculate the studio sees broader strategic stakes, perhaps protecting future projects, its partnership with Baldoni, or even its grip on adaptations of popular novels that could spawn lucrative franchises. Whatever the underlying motive, one thing is certain. This is no longer just a fight between an actor and a director, nor merely a matter of creative differences on a single film. With Disney's intervention, the dispute has exploded into something far larger, a high-stakes showdown with ramifications that extend well beyond It Ends With Us, and Hollywood is bracing to see which side emerges from the chaos with its reputation intact.
It's 2 a.m. Hopefully this does not wake you up. Whew.
I mean, honestly, the way that I get into a character is through their style.
Blake Lively's lawsuit began with a barrage of grievances, accusing the production of stripping the book of its emotional weight by inserting unnecessary comedy and excessive fashion-focused choices, all while claiming she had been pressured into accepting changes that clashed with her vision and left her feeling unsupported by the creative team. To her fans, this framed her as a star courageously resisting behind-the-scenes forces that valued style over substance. But Baldoni quickly countered with documents he said proved Lively's active involvement, showing her enthusiastic support for the very comedic beats, designer wardrobe selections, and creative tweaks she now publicly condemned. He argued her lawsuit was misleading and opportunistic, suggesting she shifted her narrative only after fans responded more favorably to a faithful, grounded adaptation. The dispute reignited debates about trust and consistency in Hollywood, and Disney's sudden decision to back Baldoni shocked many, particularly given the company's reputation for carefully guarding its image and avoiding messy controversies. Industry experts speculated this move signaled not only Disney's faith in Baldoni's vision but also its intent to shield him from what it perceives as unfair criticism, a stance that could put Lively's credibility under sharper scrutiny and jeopardize her future projects. Escalating matters further was Baldoni's wife, who entered the fray by disputing Lively's claims, recalling how the actress had once been thrilled about the comedic flourishes, genuinely enjoyed curating designer looks, and appeared to embrace a collaborative spirit on set. Her perspective, now clashing with Lively's testimony, has gained significance with Disney's lawyers involved, raising the possibility that she could be called to deliver a formal deposition, an uncomfortable spotlight that could either reinforce Baldoni's defense or expose contradictions damaging to his case. Meanwhile, social media remains fiercely divided, with some arguing Disney's vast legal power leaves Lively with little chance to win, while others applaud the studio's intervention as a safeguard for Baldoni's intent to honor the novel's emotional depth. Regardless of which side fans rally behind, one reality is clear. What began as a seemingly ordinary creative dispute has spiraled into a high-stakes spectacle, with reputations, careers, and the future of It Ends With Us hanging precariously in the balance.
Just read it, because I was looking for movies that could be commercial and speak to the human experience. And
I for sure fell short, and you worked really hard on that, and the way you framed.
Legal experts following the escalating drama warn that even Disney's formidable legal presence doesn't guarantee victory, as the case will ultimately hinge on evidence like emails, text messages, behind-the-scenes footage, and testimony from those directly involved. If Blake Lively can prove she objected to the comedic beats and extravagant wardrobe choices, then not even Disney's backing may shield Justin Baldoni. But if records show she initially supported those elements, Disney's legal team could exploit the inconsistencies in her claims, potentially pushing both sides toward a settlement to avoid a drawn-out trial, which would mirror Hollywood's broader pattern of disputes vanishing quietly with confidential agreements. Imagine Lively stepping away from the project with a carefully worded statement while Baldoni continues filming his vision with minor adjustments to ease the controversy. Disney's unexpected intervention suggests it sees long-term value in Baldoni, possibly positioning him for larger projects that align with its brand of sincere storytelling and family-friendly content, which could cement his reputation as a filmmaker devoted to honoring source material. On the other hand, while Lively's star power remains undeniable, her credibility risks serious damage if courts or public opinion conclude she exaggerated her objections, as casting decisions in Hollywood often depend on perceptions of reliability and creative cooperation, meaning persistent negative headlines could make studios wary of attaching her to sensitive projects. Fans of It Ends With Us are increasingly restless, fearing the adaptation could lose the raw authenticity that made the novel beloved amid the noise of lawsuits, rewrites, and corporate maneuvering. Some worry Disney's involvement will steer the film toward a more commercialized tone, while others trust the company's ability to balance box office appeal with emotional depth. Meanwhile, every leaked text or rumored memo fuels competing narratives online, with Baldoni's supporters accusing Lively of embracing glamour and humor until the backlash hit, then recasting herself as a reluctant participant, while her defenders claim she was marginalized by a system still plagued by gender inequities, arguing that what began as small creative tweaks snowballed into a vision that distorted the book's heart, leaving her no choice but to fight back. Disney's legal presence has only heightened the divide, with some seeing corporate favoritism in siding with the director, while others interpret it as validation that Baldoni has strong evidence. For his part, Baldoni frames himself as reluctantly drawn into this spectacle, asserting that Lively's lawsuit twisted the truth and forced him to protect both his reputation and the integrity of the film, insisting the issue is straightforward: who truly pushed for comedic tones and extravagant costumes, and who is now backtracking. He claims it's not about villainizing Lively, but about ensuring the film isn't sabotaged by falsehoods, while Lively's camp counters that her only motive has been to safeguard the book's integrity and demand a creative process faithful to its spirit. With Disney now fully entrenched, the clash has transformed from a simple disagreement into a high-stakes battle over truth, credibility, and control, with reputations, careers, and the legacy of the adaptation all hanging in the balance. Observers note that Disney's sudden involvement in Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni's dispute has raised fresh questions about motives and agendas, with Lively's camp framing it as a corporate power play designed to prioritize brand-friendly resolutions over messy artistic disagreements, leaving her facing an uphill battle in both negotiations and public perception unless she can counter Disney's immense influence. Looking forward, experts outline several possible outcomes: a behind-the-scenes settlement orchestrated by Disney's legal machine, a sensational trial where private details are dragged into public view, or a compromise allowing It Ends With Us to move forward under a revised script. But regardless of which path plays out, Disney's track record of swift intervention suggests resolution could come sooner rather than later. The bigger question haunting fans and analysts is why Disney would throw its full weight behind a film it hasn't officially claimed, with speculation pointing to undisclosed development deals or future projects contingent on Baldoni's success, since his emphasis on empathy, personal growth, and accessible storytelling aligns neatly with Disney's core brand. By entering the fray, Disney may not only be protecting It Ends With Us, but also setting the stage for an ongoing creative partnership, underscoring how quickly Hollywood can pivot from collaboration to all-out legal warfare. What was once celebrated as a dream adaptation now risks being overshadowed by depositions, leaks, and corporate strategy, leaving fans wondering whether Lively's evidence will expose cracks in Baldoni's account or if Disney's lawyers will unearth proof of her original enthusiasm for the comedic tone and glamorous wardrobe. Ultimately, the resolution will hinge on concrete records rather than speculation, but the consequences are certain to be significant. A resounding legal win could supercharge Baldoni's credibility, opening doors to major opportunities across Disney's empire, while a victory for Lively might restore her image as a champion of creative integrity. Still, even a partial loss or settlement casting doubt on her testimony could shadow her career, given how Hollywood weighs trust, cooperation, and reliability when deciding casting. For fans, the stakes feel personal, as many fear the adaptation's emotional core could be watered down by corporate interference, while others trust Disney's expertise to balance commercial appeal with narrative depth. Meanwhile, every rumor, leaked text, or unverified memo continues to fuel polarized online narratives, with Baldoni's supporters accusing Lively of reversing her stance in response to backlash, while her defenders argue she was silenced in a system still plagued by gender disparities, forced into confrontation as the creative direction drifted further from the novel. Disney's involvement has only amplified the debate, with detractors calling it favoritism toward the director and others interpreting it as proof of solid evidence in his favor. Baldoni himself portrays the lawsuit as an unavoidable response to misrepresentation, insisting he only seeks to protect his reputation and ensure the film's survival, not vilify Lively, while her camp counters that her fight has always been about honoring the book's spirit. The case has transformed into a high-stakes battle about credibility, truth, and power in an industry where one trial, one settlement, or one damaging leak can redefine careers. For Lively, a legal victory could reinforce her standing as an artist unwilling to compromise authenticity, but a damaging defeat might erode confidence in her reliability. For Baldoni, Disney's backing positions him as a director potentially on the brink of larger, more ambitious projects that could shape his career for years. At its core, the fight underscores the volatility of Hollywood collaborations. Dream projects can unravel into corporate chess matches almost overnight, and fans expecting a heartfelt adaptation are now confronted with the messy reality of lawsuits, negotiations, and strategic maneuvering. Whether Disney's muscle calms the storm or escalates it further remains uncertain, but one truth is clear: the outcome of this dispute will ripple beyond a single film, influencing reputations, careers, and even the industry's perception of how fragile creative partnerships can be when money, power, and public image collide.